Welcome back to Tiger's Garage. Last time we saw the Road Runner, we identified exactly where our oil leak is coming from. Today, we're gonna try and fix it. Over on my bench, I have all the parts to finally fix the Road Runner's oil leak correctly. Now, in my pocket, I have all the parts to finally fix the Road Runner's oil leak incorrectly. I think we're gonna start here. I'll tell you why. So like I said, I do have all the parts to fix this the right way. The reason why I'm going to try to cheat and see if we can't do it the easy way is because the right way involves water pumps coming out, upper, lower radiator hose, alternator bracket, damper, like all of the accessories. I think the rad itself could stay. We got to get to the timing cover, so the whole front of the motor is coming apart. So I'm not afraid of the work, but before we dive right in and tear this thing apart, I'm going to see if we can't get away with something. Maybe I could loosen up the timing cover right kind of in the area that it's leaking, get a little bit of the good RTV in there and put a squeeze on it and then just let it sit at least overnight and see if we can't shore the leak up that way. We know exactly where it's leaking from and we know that it's not pressurized. It's basically a froth leak from stuff flinging off the timing set in there. And if it doesn't work after one attempt, I gotta take it apart anyway. I gotta scrape the gasket surfaces anyway. This seems pretty low risk to try it. Super high reward if it works. That's where we're gonna start. First step of this whole project is getting in here and seeing if we can't even do what we wanna do. You can kind of see where the gasket isn't maybe doing all the gasket thing. It's on this side and it does look like I can get a wrench on some of this. And we might be able to get away with something here, especially if I can loosen these a little bit and then get some in there and squeeze it. I think we have a fairly high chance of being able to do that. I'm not gonna say we have a high chance of it solving our problem, but I am willing to try. You see up in here, this seam right here is where our oil leak is coming from. We learned that with our dye. There's a little bit coming from this block off plate and it's kind of in the way if I want to run a nice bead. So I think I'm going to pull this off, clean and dry everything best I can. You can see where the brake clean was already making it bare metal, which is so annoying still. And I'm going to clean this up and then I'm going to try to loosen this bolt and the bottom one just to get the clamp off it just a bit. Squirt some, it's actually the right stuff, which sets up in like 90 minutes. Squirt that in there, squeeze these down tight, and then I'm not touching it. Letting it sit overnight, totally set up. We'll come back, fire it, put our fancy glasses on, see if it still leaks. If it does at that point, well, you know what we gotta do. I got this plate off. Gasket was very well stuck. I'm not sure why it was weeping, but it was around one of these holes. See how it looks wet, kind of right there? My goal is to RTV it tonight. That way we can let it sit overnight. When we come back, we'll know if it worked or if we're tearing it all the way apart. Okay, I have the surface cleaned best I can. This is the stuff we're gonna use. Permatex, the right stuff. It says 1 minute return to service. We have serious trust issues and our application parameters probably aren't quite textbook. So we're gonna give it a lot more than 1 minute, but I do wanna get it on there, kind of work it into the gaps, get those bolts tight, and then I ain't touching it for 24 hours. We're gonna give it many, many more minutes than just one. Hopefully it solves our problem. All these bolts are loose. I don't really want to pull on it and like put a tweak in it, but I want there to be at least the opportunity for silicone to go in there. There's also various schools of thought on the spread with your finger technique. Are you pro or are you against? Let me know in the comments. I'm obviously gonna do it. I'm trying to make a nice seal. I think there is such thing as too much finger spreading. We're approaching it. My idea behind the finger spreading was hopefully that kind of hydraulics some of that stuff in here. Now I'm gonna grab my wrenches, tighten these up. Hopefully enough got in there to where our oil leak is fixed. And then this baby's gonna sit and it's gonna seal up. And you're not gonna tell anybody, and I won't tell anybody, that we slathered silicone on our brand new motor, okay? So I'm sitting here cleaning up this block off plate, just thinking that there's a really high likelihood this works for one simple reason that I didn't think of until right now. I already bought the parts to fix it the right way. So of course, I'm not gonna need them and they're gonna sit on my shelf till I build another 440, which isn't really in the plan. If I tried the silicone first before I bought anything, guaranteed would have needed new timing cover, gasket, the whole nine. Since I already have all that stuff, bought and paid for, I won't use it. That's how it goes. Honestly, small price to pay, I think. This is a situation where I probably won't do the finger spread. You know, I'll get her grouped in here and let the squeeze do its job. I also had a thought, which I am pretty sure is why this was leaking. These bolt holes go all the way through, and my threads didn't have any sort of sealant on them because I didn't think about that or even know it. So I'm gonna put a dab of RTV on the threads too, because it was probably leaking around the bolt. All right, so even though that didn't take very long, day one is over because we don't want to kneecap ourselves and start this thing too early and have that RTV not set up. When you're doing cheapo fixes, you want to give it the best possible chance to work. So that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. See if it leaks. All right, moment of truth. It's the next day. It is time to fire this thing up, dive underneath with our special light and our special glasses, and see if what we did yesterday actually fixed our oil leak, or if we were just hoping and dreaming. I've had it running for 2 or 3 minutes. I don't see any oil yet. It's hard to hear me, but it's not dripping. It's probably a bit easier to hear me out here. It's been running probably not 10 minutes, but probably 7. I don't see any drips in that area. I tried to get you guys up there with the light. It's tough to see, but earlier, or last time, it was pretty instant and it was really clear. I'm feeling slightly optimistic about this backyard repair. Gonna let it run, check the leak area a couple more times, and then I'll probably lay like clean paper towels or a piece of cardboard or something underneath it. And then we can check after it sits overnight and make sure it really is sealed up. All right, I have it shut off now. The fans are obviously still running, but check it out. There's no leak down here. I cannot believe that we got this lucky. See, all up in here is where it was leaking. Now the purple, oh, there's the fans for you. Now the purple and that glare isn't a leak. That's just a reflection. Remember, the leak would be basically bright green, and our trouble area is dry as a bone. All right, I lied. I got maybe just a little bit. See that green? That's coming from around the dowel pin hole in the front cover. That's an easy fix, and we're gonna absolutely fix it the same way. But that's what a leak looks like, right? It must not be sealed up very good around that dowel pin. A dab of silicone take care of that. I am hardly even worried about it, to be honest. The other place we do have a little bit of an issue, which I knew about, and I think I even pointed out last time, is around where the dipstick tube shoves into the block. That's just like come out a little bit. It's a press fit anyway. We're gonna fix that the same way. Not right now though. We're gonna let it get cool so we can clean it, make a silicone repair that lasts, hopefully, which is kind of an oxymoron, but it worked for the timing cover and I'm really, really excited. And I knew it would because we had the parts sitting right here. So I'm not saying that I don't trust our silicone repair, but I am gonna put a piece of cardboard under the suspect area overnight just to double check. Now here's a tip. If you got dirty cardboard like me, circle the stuff that's already there in Sharpie, because you won't remember in the morning, or at least I won't. This way it keeps me from panicking about something that's been there the whole time. All right, it's actually a couple days later and we're back to see if our cheap fix held overnight or if we have oil-soaked cardboard underneath the car. Okay, moment of truth, here we go. This was 2 pieces of cardboard, just like that. Remember, I circled the stuff that was there already. These are X's that had little drips. Right off the bat, we got something right there. My gut feeling is that is dripping off the bell housing, the drain back, let's call it. Either way, which we'll confirm, there's probably a drip on it. We'll dive underneath and look. This is so much better than it was. This stuff is here. If you ignore all that, little tiny drip like that, way better shape than we were. Have a look at where I think that drip's coming from. Got bell housing right here, and if you look close, which it might be hard to see, let me move this light. See that? Touch of a drip. And now what I think is happening, everybody says residual when they're trying to talk themselves out of having an oil leak. I totally get it. I do the same. I'm doing it right now. But I truly think that we had some following this pan rail, coming back here, running down the scatter shield, and this is just a low point. And the whole car and engine and trans combo is sitting a couple degrees down like that. I'm not surprised that we had a drip right here. I cleaned none of this. Honestly, guys, I think we might have got away with something here. Is it the most proper fix in the world? No, of course not. Is it working for now? Yeah. So basically, I'm not tearing this thing apart until it gives me a better reason to do so. That reason might come as soon as we can get this thing off the stands and back on the road and drive it 10, 20, 30 miles and put a couple more heat cycles and a few more miles on it. It may spring another leak. It may be fine forever. Whatever happens, you can be sure you'll see that on a future episode of Tiger's Garage.